friends, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Stacy and I am the Chapter Conundrum, and in today's video I'm joined by my husband Jake, the bookish drummer, because we're here to talk about books that he has read and enjoyed. I think you enjoyed all of them, that I want to read. So we're going to talk kind of a little bit. I think he's going to give us the synopsis or a gist of what they're about, and I'll tell y'all kind of why I'm excited to check it out.
Yep, and y'all should read these books as well, because I have immaculate taste, right?
Oh, sometimes. Sometimes.
All the time.
We'll see.
Should we get started?
Yeah, let's get into it.
So the first one I'll mention is the only book that we don't own because it just came out yesterday.
Well, we do own it, just not on...
We don't own it physically.
Yeah, we own it on Audible.
It's Cherie LaPena's new book, She Didn't See It Coming, which I just finished like a few minutes ago and really enjoyed it. Gave it 4.5 stars. One of my new favorites of hers. I liked it a lot better than the one that came out last year that you loved. This one, it's got a interesting, it's not like mind-blowing, like Cherie LaPena has like just solid premises. This one, it's basically about a woman, a wife who goes missing, and the detectives are trying to figure out where she went. Like it's stereotypical setup, but I think the author Cherie LaPena does a really good job of setting up every character as a viable suspect.
Yeah.
And the whole way through, I was questioning who done it or who didn't do it, or like what all these people are doing. So it was very good, and the ending I really liked.
Yeah, so I'm curious to read this one, not only because of what Jake has already talked about, but also because I've read and enjoyed several Cherie LaPena books. And there are like really good elements of her books that kind of always usually translate to things that I enjoy. So one of those is like really good pacing. She tends to have pretty even pacing with like multiple reveals or multiple like shocking moments that happen kind of throughout the book instead of just all towards the end. She also tends to, like you said, focus really on creating credible red herrings or other possibilities, and so you truly are guessing or having theories like as you read, or even if you don't like have a solid theory, you're still kind of having the experience of like, oh well, this could have been it, and this is kind of why I think that, or like maybe this, you know, even if it's not like your gut hunch, you have a strong feeling, you still have kind of the thought process of trying to deduce things. So yeah, I tend to really enjoy her books. And Jake and I tend to have similar taste in thrillers. She has consistent elements in her books that I enjoy. So yeah, I should have a good time with that one when I get to it.
And now the rest of these books we own physically, because a lot of these are my favorites.
Yeah.
Some, or most of them, I would say. This one definitely. This would be Sylvain Neville's A History of What Comes Next, which is the first book in his kind of second sci-fi trilogy, Take Them to the Stars, which I liked slightly less than Themis Files, which is one of my all-time favorite trilogies. And this one, I gave all of the books 4.5 stars. It is a sci-fi trilogy, and basically what you need to know is that there's these two beings that are being hunted throughout history, basically.
Okay.
And I don't want to give too much away because a lot of it is figuring out, you know, what's going on. And it's an interesting series because it starts out kind of in World War II.
Okay.
And by the time you're in the third book, it's like almost up to present day.
So there's definitely some time travel, or just really aging characters that span like...
Well, you'll find out.
Okay.
Another cool aspect though is that every title of the chapters are different songs throughout the era. So as a musician, I really appreciated that too. But the story and the characters are all great, and there's some just jaw-dropping moments in all the books. So yeah, hopefully you like it.
Hopefully. So the main thing that has me interested in this isn't actually the premise, because I had no clue what it even was until Jake just said. But I have read and enjoyed 2 of his novellas, as well as the Themis Files trilogy, with kind of like the exception of the third book was just for me. But book 1 and book 2 were great, and his novellas that I've read were great. And so I am curious mainly to read this to talk to you about it, because I know you also really enjoyed it. But also because I've, for the most part, had a good experience with him as an author. He also tends to have pretty good pacing, I would say, as well, which keeps my interest well throughout.
Yeah, normally I don't love short chapters, but these books do have pretty short chapters, so you'll enjoy that.
Okay.
Next up, we have one of my new all-time favorite horror authors, and this is the first book I ever read by this author. My favorite, though, was When the Wolf Comes Home, but I'm of course talking about Mary by Nat Cassidy. And even though the author was kind of loosely inspired by Carrie by Stephen King, which I know you did not like, vehemently did not like, is very, very different than Carrie. I think it's kind of more in the spirit of the novel, but it's very good. I think you'll like it quite a bit more than Carrie, and I'm definitely interested to get your take on it.
Yeah, so originally our friend Sharon had read this before she passed away, and she was really enjoying it too. So not only do I know that Jake really enjoyed this, but also Sharon enjoyed it. And when she was reading it, I noticed on the cover that there are 3 hands in this bathtub, which immediately intrigued me. I didn't at the time know that it was a Carrie retelling. I do now. But I'm not upset at that, because while I didn't enjoy Carrie and had some pretty big issues with it, I feel like my issues were kind of all very specific to that book and not necessarily like the overall story that we could see a retelling of here. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out. I also have not yet found like an all-time favorite in horror ever.
Like an author?
Yeah,
okay.
Or even a book. Like, I just don't, like, if I think about all my all-time favorite books, none of them are horror. The closest, oh, I have it out already for something else. The closest would be Mr. Monster, the second book in the John Cleaver series. But yeah, I have a feeling that this could potentially hit that, just because I know you loved it, Sharon loved it, and I think Ian also loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the fact that everybody that I talk to about books regularly seems to really love it has me very intrigued.
Next up, we have my second favorite series of all time, and you've been saying that you've been wanting to get to this for years. You haven't gotten to it yet. And I'm of course talking about The Way of Kings, Stormlight Archive.
Yeah.
What do I have to say about this? Read it. Read it.
Do you want to actually tell me what it's about? Because right now, I kind of don't really know. I mean, I know
it's way too complicated to give a synopsis for this book. But basically, it's epic fantasy written by Brandon Sanderson, and I really don't know where to. You kind of just got to read it.
I know it's in. Is it Roshar?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that there's cool magic.
I mean, I could. Do you know like the prologue?
No, I know nothing.
Okay.
Other than like the random tidbits that people have said.
Yeah, I don't want to give anything away. Just jump into it.
Okay.
You're going to have a good time.
But you know that I like more context. Is he going to give me context?
So basically the prologue, you've got this mysterious assassin in white that's going to kill the king.
Okay.
Who just made a peace contract with this group of people, and that kind of ruins everything. And then you jump 6 years later where we start to get other character perspectives like Kalanid and Shallan and Dalinar. So I don't want to give, that's basically the prologue. I don't want to give anything else away. It starts with an assassin in white.
Okay.
The start of the prologue, if I can. Seth's son Villano, truthless of Shinovar, wore white on the day he was to kill a king.
Okay.
That's all you need to know.
Okay. Yeah, so I already, like, just hearing how this thing kind of spurs open is intriguing. So yeah, that has me like more prone to pick this up. The obvious reason why this has been on my TBR forever is that everyone seems to really love it. It'll definitely give me something to talk about with friends, which will be very interesting. Everybody's rooting for me to read it. Yeah, and I will probably have a really good time with it. I have also read a lot of Brandon Sanderson and basically everything I need to be able to fully jump into Stormlight at this point. Like, I've already read Mistborn Era 1, the start of Era 2. I've already read Warbreaker and Elantris. So, like,
you don't have to know anything to jump into book 1.
Well, yeah, but like later books in the series have a lot of like Easter eggs and tie-ins from what I've heard. So
you'll be fine. Just
anyway,
read it. Just read
I've done all the prerequisite work, so I'm ready. I just haven't done it yet.
Read it.
But I'm probably gonna have a good time with it, especially Words of Radiance, because I've heard that I will love the plot in that one.
Next up, we have my second favorite author of all time, who you've read a ton of books from. Not everything, and you've had very mixed experiences. You've loved a couple of them, and you've not liked a lot of them. But this one you're interested in because of the assassin character. And that would be Billy Summers by Stephen King. And really the only thing you need to know is that it's basically an assassin character and he's convinced to take on one more job.
Okay.
And that's all you need to know.
I do think that I have heard that this does a typical King thing where he gives you a setup and a premise and then you start out with that and it turns into something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But I am interested in this because I tend to like his newer books and his kind of like more shorter stuff. There are exceptions, like I love 11/22/63, but for the most part, the ones I have really enjoyed tend to be his shorter stuff or his like mid-length stuff.
Yeah, context, this book's about 500 pages.
Yeah, so that's not bad.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because basically the first half of this book, I'd say, is kind of the premise of that. But then it definitely does change in the second half. So that'll kind of dictate whether you like this book or not.
Yeah, well, I do know that King is good about giving us like the full scope of the situation. And if we're talking about an assassination, I feel like there could be some political intrigue or just like some intrigue surrounding why this assassination is like requested, I guess. So yeah, I feel like I'll have an interesting time with it.
Next up is an author that we've actually both read. I think I might have read a few more than you. I think you've read one.
I've read one, yeah.
And this is definitely my all-time favorite by her, and that would be The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. This was the first book that I read by her, and it blew me away by how just intriguing it was and just thrilling it was, and I really liked the ending. Basically, you know, it's about a housemaid, and she gets an offer at this job, and she's having some struggles in life, so she really needs to get this job. And when she gets there, some weird things are happening, and she's trying to figure out what's going on. And
Okay.
it's a mystery thriller, so
Yeah.
something weird's happening.
So the initial thing that really intrigued me about picking this up was just your reaction to it, because you loved it so much, and I think you also really enjoyed the second book, but you haven't yet read the third.
Yeah, the second book, this one I gave 5 stars to. The second one I gave 4.5 stars to. It's really good, but it's essentially the same book,
Okay.
which I didn't mind. But the first one's really good.
Okay. But I have since read The Boyfriend by her, and I do think that she has like a really compelling, interesting writing style that keeps you turning the pages. And so I have no doubt that I'll be entertained throughout while I read this. Now, kind of what I have heard about some of her other books is that like the twists are sort of make it or break it for a lot of people. So yeah, we'll see how all of that plays out. But since you loved this one and you don't think I'm gonna hate it, so it probably doesn't have things that like I knowingly hate, I'll likely have a good time with this. And yeah, I'm very curious to check out more of her work now that I have read and enjoyed The Boyfriend.
Next up is an author that you have read the prequel novella for this series, but you haven't yet tackled the novel.
And the prequel novella is excellent, by the way.
Yes, I've read this novel, really liked it. One of the better kind of debut fantasy novels I've ever read, and that would be Winds of Strife by U.G. Gutman. And you kind of have a vague idea of what this is about, right? Because you got to read the prequel.
Yeah, I do. But you want to tell the people?
Basically, it's a magic system based off of emotions, and the opening chapter is a witch hunt.
Yeah, and I think it plays into like there's a witch hunter who is done killing witches or doesn't agree with the rules of killing witches, and so I think he's trying to thwart the efforts of the king, possibly spur on a rebellion.
Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff happens in this book.
So rebellion is a buzzword for me right off. I love that. And then I have read, like you said, the prequel novella and loved the experience of that. Like, it was fantastic.
The only bad thing about this book is that the sequel still hasn't come out. What the hell?
He'll get there when he gets there, I'm sure. But yeah, I am really curious to pick this one up. I have a really good feeling about it based on my enjoyment of the novella.
Next up is one of my new all-time favorite authors. I've enjoyed every single book that I've read by him. I believe you have read 2 of his books and really enjoyed one of them.
I enjoyed both of them, but yeah, one was a 4-star and one was a 5-star.
Yeah, this one happens to be my all-time favorite, one of my all-time favorite novels by any author, and that would be Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby. And S.A. Cosby, kind of a local author. He lives in Gloucester, which is like right down the road from us, half hour or
Yeah,
so.
half hour, yeah.
And a lot of his books kind of take place in a similar area that we live in.
Yeah, so Razorblade Tears was like Richmond area.
Yeah, this one kind of takes place like there's some streets that are named here that I drive on every day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a fun experience that way. This one, I don't want to give too much away, but essentially you're following a character who's in a bit of a bind and they have to do something that they know they're going to regret, but they got to do it or else, it's I don't want to give too much away, but essentially you got a character
who's grappling with dealing with a situation, which is something I tend to enjoy.
Yeah, and of the same like great pacing and characters and dialogue and just jaw-dropping moments in all of his books. It's really good stuff.
Yeah, so the main thing that drew me to this one is just that I have also really enjoyed his other books that I've picked up. But knowing that this one is your favorite of them, and also my brother-in-law just read and enjoyed this one as well, has me even more curious to pick up this one specifically.
And also this is Ian's favorite.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So he'll yell at me to read it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I should have a good time with it.
Next up, we have a book that everyone and their mama has told you that you're going to love, and you still haven't read it.
I have this thing where I put off books I'm going to love sometimes, okay?
So you're going to read Blackstone Heart, and you're going to love it.
Yeah, you're right. I am going to like it.
By Michael R. Fletcher. And it's the first book in the Obsidian Path trilogy. And basically, you have this character who wakes up with amnesia in this world. He doesn't have any idea who he is, what's going on, and he's got to try to figure out what the hell's going on. It's a dark fantasy, and that's really all you need to know. You just go from there.
Yeah. So I have yet to read any Michael R. Fletcher, and actually I talk about him in my Authors I Need to Try video, so if you haven't seen that, maybe go there too. But in that video, I talk about all the reasons I'm excited about this. Mainly that it's dark fantasy, that it has the amnesia trope, and I have heard that he's recovering his memories bit by bit slowly over the course of the book. And so for me, that automatically means there's probably going to be good pacing in here because I'm going to be getting some answers and some reveals and maybe some further questions as I keep reading, which will definitely be entertaining for me and my reading tastes. But yeah, also just like the tone of this and the quest that he's on. Like, I don't know anything really about the quest, but just knowing that there's like something going on alongside the amnesia stuff is going to have me really interested. And also, given that it's dark fantasy, I'm sure there's going to be some like high stakes, good villain, like tense moments. So yeah, I will love this when I try it.
And next up, we have kind of another dark fantasy series they haven't tried out yet that I've really read, or that I've read and enjoyed, and The Quartet, and it's Priest of Bones by Peter McLean. And basically, at the start of this book, you've got the main character of Thomas Piety. The war is over, and you've got him and a group of people that are going back home, but they get home and they realize that there's new people there and that the home is very different, and he's got to try to figure out what's going on and fix everything.
Isn't he also like the leader of a crime organization that they're trying to kind of get back on their feet? Yeah, okay.
A bit.
That's what I thought. So yeah, I tend to really enjoy exploring like tough character things when they've been through something tough. And so the fact that they're returning from a war and also struggling with like establishing themselves again, like there's going to be a plot and some character emotion going on in here. And that's usually a good combination for something I'll enjoy. And the fact that it's darker in tone also has me intrigued. And I've also had this one recommended by a few people who know my tastes. So I don't know a ton about it other than that, but I am intrigued based on those things.
It's got some dark moments for sure.
Yeah. It's funny because typically Jake doesn't love a lot of darker fantasy like I do. But this is one that you enjoyed.
Yeah.
And also Obsidian Path you enjoyed.
I like some dark fantasy.
Yeah.
I don't like freaking Mark Lawrence. Not that dark.
You should.
Freaking Jorg.
Jorg is great. It's fascinating to unpack why he is the way he is.
And lastly, I've got some honorable mentions to mention honorably here. And it's Adrian Tchaikovsky. And I've got two here because I want you to try both of them, but I'm not sure which one you would like more. You've got Children of Time, which is kind of more of a hard sci-fi, but it's got such an interesting premise of like, you start with the prologue and you you got this ship whose basically mission is to go to this planet and to kind of repopulate it. But something really bad happens and you get basically intelligent spiders from it.
Okay.
So half of this book, you're getting POVs from like spiders who are growing in intelligence and creating society. And then you've got the other half of the book where you've got characters who don't know what the hell's going on and they come across this and they're like, what is going on? So very fascinating. And then this one, you've got like a kind of a ragtag group of people on a spaceship, and it's a hard sci-fi in space with a lot of space battles and a lot of really kind of giant space monsters that they got to deal with and the implications of all that. So this one I think might be better for you because it's I can't pinpoint it, but I think you'd like this one more.
I'm very curious about the spiders, but I think you're right. Where this one, just based on the fact that you're going to have like multiple enemies or things, it's probably going to lead to more tension throughout the story, which is something that usually drives my reading.
I would say this one is probably a bit more plot based,
Yeah.
and this one's kind of more idea driven.
That's
a
kind
little
of
bit.
the vibe I got from the synopsis you were giving too, with the premise. So like this one to me says I'll probably enjoy this one a bit more, and maybe I should try it first. But I am curious about the spiders too, so like don't discount that one. But yeah, mainly my interest in these is that one of my all-time favorite novellas, Ogres, is Adrian Tchaikovsky. And while I've had some mixed experiences with his other novellas that I've read, I haven't yet tried any of his novels, and I want to. Yeah, so these two are the ones that I think a lot of people talk about. They're also ones that you've read and tried and liked. So I feel like either will be a good starting place, but I feel like I'll have a better time with Shards of Earth. So let me know down below in the comments, which of these are you the most excited for me to pick up? Are there any here that you think I won't have a good time with? Are there any here that stand out to you as ones I will love? Definitely let me know all of that good stuff down below.
And comment down below if you think I have good taste.
Oh, okay.
No one comments. I'm like, damn it.
As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on your way out if you want to, and have a great day. Bye.